40% of financed cars have negative equity, layoffs in the freight industry, and more Boeing layoffs. Today, I read an interesting article on ZeroHedge.com written by Tyler Durden, likely a pseudonym for writers at Zero Hedge, titled, "Nearly 40% of cars financed since 2022 are underwater." According to the author, the delayed day of reckoning has arrived for millions of Americans who purchased vehicles during the pandemic auto boom. Many are now finding themselves trapped in an expletive storm of negative equity and burdened by costly monthly payments, all while low and mid-tier consumers face mounting financial strain amid elevated inflation and high interest rates. The author went on to reference new data from CarEdge, which revealed a staggering 39% of vehicles financed since 2022 carry negative equity, including 46% of EVs. Here are my thoughts. This is truly sad. Many Americans are in a tough spot. Some made an emotional purchase and are now stuck with a high payment during a time when everything in life has gotten more expensive. This has to be hard for some families to deal with. After the new car smell goes away, the expensive payment remains. I'm sure some of these people would love to get rid of their car and buy something used that is less expensive, but they can't because they are in a negative equity situation. They simply don't have the cash to get rid of their vehicles. Then, there are people who would like to trade in their cars every couple of years to get something new. Well, that won't be easy now because they have a mountain of negative equity and the cost to finance a new vehicle will be much higher given the current interest rate environment. There are a few exceptions. For example, some manufacturers have low interest rate offers. Usually, these offers are on cars, trucks, and SUVs that are less than popular. Getting back to the article, the author shared an interesting chart from CarEdge and Bloomberg Intelligence, which showed the median equity cushion per brand. Those with the least amount of equity cushion were Tesla owners, followed by Ram owners, followed by BMW owners, followed by Jeep owners. Toyota was the brand where owners had the highest median equity cushion, followed by GMC, Honda, Kia, Ford, VW, and Subaru. I'm not really surprised to hear that Tesla owners had the least amount of equity in their vehicles. I'm also not surprised to hear about Ram and BMW either. I have zero interest in owning a vehicle from those brands, especially BMW. That's a brand that at one time was going to charge people a monthly fee to use the heated seats in their cars. Fortunately, they dropped that idea. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "Aren't practically all new car loans negative equity? That is, worth much less than the loan balance after being driven off the lot." I'm going to chime in about that comment. Most new cars are worth less as soon as you drive them off the dealer lot, but this has become more problematic lately. For one, people are suckered into paying for all of these dealer add-ons like paint protection and window tint. Then, they are suckered into buying wheel protection, key protection, expensive extended warranties, etc. Then, they are talked into a longer loan. All of this is a recipe for disaster, since many people put little to no money down on a new vehicle. Getting back to the comments, the next commenter must be someone who works at a car dealership. He said, "A population that is mostly economically illiterate is a big chunk of the problem. I had a kid out here bring in his POS from a buy here, pay here place. His interest rate was north of 20%, but all he cared about was the payment, which was only $400 a month for 5 years. This was on a car that was worth $2,000 max." Another commenter said, "I will never understand why people go $30,000 into debt for something that'll be worth $15,000 if they're lucky after 4 years. I'm going to chime in regarding that comment. Many people will be lucky to only have $30,000 in debt for a new car, truck, or SUV. The average new vehicle price in America is now close to $50,000. The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "I watched a tow truck driver this morning circling our condo complex looking for his victim. He found it. It was a white Nissan Altima with all the trimmings." Well, my friends, I think some repo drivers could be very busy in the years to come. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on yahoo.com, put out by FreightWaves and written by Noy Mahoney, titled, "Over 2,400 Layoffs Hit Supply Chain-Related Firms Across the U.S." According to the author, layoffs continue across the freight and logistics industry, with 2,402 job cuts announced by companies in Arizona, California, Georgia, Illinois, Missouri, Ohio, and Texas over the past 3 weeks. Here are my thoughts. I think this wave of layoffs could be just the beginning. Many everyday Americans are struggling financially, and it is finally starting to impact businesses. I believe more and more businesses are going to suffer. Some people are placing all their bets on Donald Trump to get the economy on the right track in 2025. Is it possible? Sure it is. But he has a big job to do, and he will need a lot of help. I feel bad for the 2,402 people who are losing their jobs in the freight and logistics industry. This is terrible timing around the holiday season. It is also hard for people in some of the states mentioned that may be getting snow and cold weather later this week. Gas bills can get expensive. Some people may have a hard time paying those gas bills without a job. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "It's not a healthy economy, but Wall Street wants you to think it is. I can find more companies who have revenues that are either in the red or very close to it than companies who have growing revenue that are very much in the green." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "Trucking and logistic companies either closing or laying off is as common as snow in January. Whoever thought Yellow Roadway would go out of business, or how fast another company would take over?" What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Here's another story in the news today about layoffs. I read this on yahoo.com, put out by Reuters and written by Dan Catchpole and Allison Lampert. Boeing to lay off 2,500 workers in U.S. as part of sweeping cuts. These cuts will happen in Washington, Oregon, South Carolina, and Missouri. The author went on to say, Boeing plans to cut 17,000 jobs, or 10% of its global workforce. Here are my thoughts. I feel bad for these people getting laid off. I hope they have a well-funded emergency account to rely on until they find new jobs. I also hope their skill set is up to date so they can easily find new employment. I'm sure some will need to relocate depending on their specialty. This could be very disruptive to their families. I hate to think about children having to leave their schools and neighborhoods because mom or dad had to relocate for work. That's the grim reality for what some may be dealing with. What do you think about these Boeing job cuts? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.